For centuries, the English Channel has been a graveyard for ships, wrecked by its stormy waters. Coast Guard stations along the coastline receive many calls each year from ships in trouble.
Are you in immediate distress, over?
We are hitting a sandbank and we are not going further.
Many finding themselves in need of rescue from the infamous sandbanks that run across the channel. These treacherous hazards are created by the raging currents and shifting sands. Senior Watch Manager Peter Legg is one of the UK's longest-serving Coast Guards and has been witness to many a shipwreck during the course of his watch duties.
The whole UK coast is a wrecker's coast, actually. There's lots and lots of wrecks around here. We have some quite nasty sandbanks here, also known as the Great Ship Swallower, because basically it's quicksands as well. So if you get yourself stuck on that, you are literally stuck, and it's going to suck you and hold on to you, as has happened in the past.
One of the most dangerous sandbanks along the south coast lies in the Swash Channel, near Poole in Dorset. A graveyard for shipwrecks and popular with divers, the location is firmly on the Coast Guard's radar. It lies in a busy cross-channel ferry lane, and they monitor all dives in the area closely to ensure that there are no collisions. Back in the early 1600s, a merchant vessel sank after becoming stuck on the treacherous sandbank. Today its remains form one of the most important shipwrecks in coastal Britain. Resting in 7 meters of water, buried beneath the sand, the 40-meter wreck is remarkably intact. Previous dives have revealed it to be a historical treasure trove, preserved for hundreds of years in the cool, silty waters of the Swash Channel. In a bid to uncover some of the mystery surrounding the wreck, English Heritage have asked maritime archaeologist experts from Bournemouth University to carry out their own unique kind of sea patrol. They're going to conduct the first complete survey ever carried out on the wreck and hope to build a more complete picture of the vessel and its history.
What we've got here are a couple of finds that we found last year. We've got a small copper bell, and this has been one of the items that's helped give us some clues towards its identity. So it would have been on a wooden handle, and the style of it matches other bells from the 1620s.
Team leader Dave Parham knows that the latest dive is a race against time and tide. Changing weather and water conditions mean that the team only have a narrow window of 30 days to get all of their work completed. Survey vessel the Loyal Helper heads towards the wreck site. Escorted out of the harbour by support diver Tom Cousins.
We're approaching the wreck. We're just the other side of that green buoy and the next green buoy.
The survey vessel drops anchor next to the wreck. On board, Dave Parham talks his team through the plan for the day.
We'll lay the grid on the bow of the wreck here in 2 6-metre squares, and then start moving it gradually along the wreck.
The divers are going to construct a square excavation grid from scaffold poles. Covering 6-metre sections, this will allow the wreck to be photographed so every centimetre can be accurately recorded. When each section has been catalogued, the grid will be moved along the wreck until every section from bow to stern has been mapped out.
1, 2, 3. We have just put underwater some of the scaffolding frame. Now the guys are going to go underwater and put that exactly on top of the wreck and locate it so that the operation can start smoothly.
Pull that.
Yeah.
Tom will give you the SMB.
Right, yeah.
Is it tight enough?
Yep.
With the clock ticking, the divers do their final checks before entering the water.
When you're ready.
Underwater work can be hazardous and safety is a top priority.
Tom?
Yeah.
That's okay, just checking your comms.
I can't see him yet. Are you okay?
But there's a problem. they've lost contact with the safety diver.
Can you hear me? Have a look up there now, see what's going on.
After a few tense moments, he surfaces in an agitated state.
It's coming to the ladder, Dave.
Concerned by his weakened state, the crew help him on board. He's exhausted and has difficulty breathing.
You all right?
No, not really. What's up? It's free flowing. I was just sinking, and I couldn't equalise.
All right. Can I get you back up here to sit down?
Equalizing is the process where a diver blows air through his nose to balance his inner ear pressure with the water pressure outside. Failure to do so can result in dizziness and even loss of consciousness.
We have a code of practice. Keep an eye on what is the condition of the water, temperature, and just monitor the dive basically.
A backup diver is put in the water to work alongside Tom.
You're halfway between the boarding ladder and the stern of the boat at the moment. Over.
Battling against the current and thick seaweed, Tom gradually begins locating the poles. He will now have to drag them over the wreck and begin bolting them together in a grid formation.
A bit close to the anchor there, do you think?
Well, they must be in the right place.
As well as mapping the wreck to build a fuller picture of what the ship once looked like, the team intend to carry out some preservation work.
The shipwreck is degrading quite rapidly. With the excavation that we are planning to conduct through the summer, we're actually going to deploy some in situ protection of the wreck so that no wood borers organisms and degrading organisms and so on can actually destroy the shipwreck.
Tom has finished laying the main sections of the grid and resurfaces with his safety diver. Despite the difficult working conditions, the operation to build the grid was a success.
You could see quite far, but there's a lot of stuff floating in your way. Managed to clear it, but you're just diving and you have a spot of weed hit your mast.
With this key stage of the underwater dig completed, the team will return over the course of the month to continue their mapping and preservation work. And Dave Parham is adamant just how important that work is.
It's the biggest underwater archaeology project at the moment in the country. People often have an impression that shipwrecks are full of treasure, and in my experience, financially, that's not the case. What the real treasure is what this stuff tells us about the past and the connection with people working at sea 400 years ago.
The marine archaeologists of Bournemouth University successfully completed their mapping of the Swash Channel Wreck in the 30 days allocated for the big dive. They now look forward to showing the world exactly what the sunken ship once looked like. And injured sailor Jeff, airlifted from the warship HMS Echo, is still out of action as he awaits an operation on his dislocated elbow.
How do you take down a huge structure without destroying the town? Find out in Demolition the Super Stadium. Brand new this Thursday night on Channel 5 at 8. Next tonight, though, it's brand new CSI Miami.